of large multinationals such as ours. We are able to do our businesses quite easily in the state. So just to take you through a thing, so we first signed an MOU in 1997-98 period. That was our first MOU. The first float line here in Sri Perumbudur was inaugurated then. Since then, we have signed 3 other MOUs, totally make a total of 4. And what you're seeing today is the MOU that we signed in the first Global Investor Meet in September 2015 at the then Honorable Chief Minister Jayalalitha. I think we signed that in September, I don't remember, 12th or 13th or whatever date. And at that point in time, I'll talk a little bit later. So far, we had committed 2,000 crores of investments or 20 billion rupees. We have significantly exceeded by about, we have invested 170% of our commitment. And that has always been the hallmark, that we like to commit conservatively and exceed it. That's been something which Gobain has been good at everywhere in the world, and including in India. More specifically, we signed the one for which you are all assembled here. We signed this in, as I said, in September in the first Global Investor Meet. We committed 800 crores to be invested, or 8 billion rupees to be invested over 5 years. But you're here in just about 3 years plus, and we have invested 1,200 crores and 150% of our commitment. So we are today doing 3 things. One is we are inaugurating our the 3rd float line here and the 5th float line of Gobain. It's a very large float line, and it's the largest float line. It's very complex. It has several innovative features, both process technologies and efficiency and optimizing cost. So it's also very optimal in terms of the human-machine interface. It's got the robots, where robots will be the best from the safety point of view. It has a large amount of Industry 4.0 built into this. It uses the early stage artificial intelligence for decision making. So it's a very, very modern, and I would say that in the Gobain world, this is the best of its kind at this point in time. I'm sure that 2 years from now, 3 years from now, there will be improvements that will be taking place. But at this moment, this is the best, largest and the best in terms of the capabilities. But what is interesting is also that it's very energy efficient. Compared to its predecessors, we have 15% more energy. And I've said this before, that I know that we don't submit ourselves to external audit on energy efficiency awards and other things, because we believe that we are better. But when you really compare with some of the award winners on the energy efficiency, we are significantly better than that. What is interesting is also not just the energy efficiency. There's a lot of waste heat that is coming, and we have this regenerator which converts a lot of waste heat and reduces the energy consumption. But importantly, we have added one of the interesting features where we generate 1.2 megawatts of electrical energy from the waste heat recovery, and that is nearly 50% of the energy required to run the float line. Electrical energy, not the furnace energy. The electrical energy that is required is roughly 2.5 megawatts regularly, on a regular basis, except on some special occasions. So 50% of that comes from its own heat that is converted into electrical energy. And the balance, we have a 3.5 megawatts of solar, of which 1.5 will be committed today, another about 2 will be coming in the next 2 weeks. So we have 3.5 megawatts of solar. So together, this line is almost self-sufficient itself. So it uses its own for electrical energy purposes. The line, and I think I need your help on this, because you are the ones who can influence the government better than many others. The line is equipped to handle both furnace oil as well as liquefied natural gas. And you know Tamil Nadu, and I don't have to say anything. You know the challenges of liquefied natural gas, pipelines and other things. So we are really hopeful. The IOC has committed that they would have this liquefied natural gas facility, which I think is getting commissioned any time. And we believe that a pipeline would be laid, the first of it, hopefully there are no big challenges from anyone on that. So if we have this pipeline laid by end of 2019, we would convert this completely to a LNG. So at the moment we have over invested to handle both the furnace oil as well as liquefied natural gas. But I think we'll be one of the larger people converting to gas. And when we do that, it's one of our chairman's thing is to reduce the carbon footprint significantly over a period of time. So make less with more, make more with less carbon footprint, and this will go a long way when we switch from furnace oil. Very likely this would happen by end of this 2019. So that's really makes this fairly unique. We have, for this line, we have invested close to 1,000 crores, and I'll come to that particular feature. Why do you have this water body in this place? So the second of the investment that we make would be for the high performance glass. This is the advanced magnetron facility where we coat up to 20 layers of nanomaterials, all kinds of nanomaterials, and each of them very, very small, significantly smaller than the diameter of the human hair. And this gives you products which are essentially cuts down heat and lets light come in. So it's possible for us to have 80% of the heat shut down with 50% of the light that is coming in. So that essentially means you can live, you have a sense of comfort because you're connected with outside, but at the same time the thermal heat transfer is significantly reduced. So this is going to be inaugurated today, and this is a facility for Asia Pacific. This is the only facility between Europe, I think if you can say Germany, and South Korea. Between Germany and South Korea for Africa, Middle East, South Asia, ASEAN, and parts of Australia and New Zealand. This is the only dedicated facility, and it's doing well. We have started the commissioning, and I think the facility is doing quite well. And the Honorable Chief Minister will be inaugurating this, and this one is scalable to 140 million square feet. Just to give you that, India does not require more than 50 million square feet. So this is dedicated not just for India but for the global markets. The third set of facilities that we will be inaugurating today, which is part of the solutions group of things, would be the advanced glass solutions, which are primarily closer to the customer, which will be the double glazed insulated glass unit. And then, as I talked about, the fire safety glass, which is really growing quite fast because of the regulations. And we know that we have some really bad fires in schools and office buildings and other things. So this is something which protects people up till 2 hours, so that you have adequate time for you to find the escape routes and other things. So it can withstand a fire raging outside of 1200 degrees for 2 hours, and that thing is made here. And we also make bulletproof glasses here, which are certified. And so technically some of the products that we make can stop an AK-47 fired at close quarters. So I hope we never have to be tested for that. So again, these three facilities, the magnetron and the advanced glass solutions, are predominantly exporting, and they are exporting advanced products for that. And the last one, which is close to our heart, is really Gobain in India has been pioneers in reusing the water that is falling on its roof. And we inaugurated 10 years ago or 12 years ago the first roof water harvesting reservoir. Many of you have seen that. The capacity of that was 5.8 crores or 58 million liters. We are adding another 7.2 crores or 72 million liters. If we have the kind of rainfall we had, which is not great last season, it can support 40%. This plus the earlier one can support 40% of all the water that we need for this whole huge complex. It can support us up to about 500 or 600 kiloliters a day right through the year. And if we have moderate rainfall, if we have very good rainfall like what we had in 2015, I think it can meet much more than that. So so for the new float line, it will meet 100% of its requirements. So essentially the new float line, the new coating line, the new advanced thing are in terms of their water consumption will be met by the new reservoir that we have constructed. So this is one of the green facilities. So we have experimented another one recently. I think many of you are familiar with this concept of urban forest. And what we are trying to do is create high density forests in very small spaces. Okay, and this is like 12 years ago we pioneered the concept of rainwater harvesting reservoir. Otherwise, we were always having rainwater harvested but put back into the ground, which then required energy, demineralization, and all of that to be useful. So this is one of its kind. So at this moment, we have already planted 74,000 trees in very high density. When I say density, in 1 square meter or 10 square feet, we plant three trees, and all of them are native. So they create a kind of a natural forest ecosystem. So you kind of spread it in different parts of the factory wherever the green spaces are there, and they really provide the lung space for us. And apart from the fact that they have a fantastic canopy that you've seen. So essentially, the world class complex is about 70 plus hectares or 177 acres, 3 float glass lines, and we have the mirror line for about 50 million square feet and 140 million or 14 crore square feet scalable magnetron lines. We have car glazing capacity, windshield, side light and backlight for 1.3 million car sets. And you know that in the recent gym, we have had an announcement by Hyundai talking about adding their capacity from 700 to 800,000. Then we have Renault Nissan, which have a very huge capacity and they have a great opportunity to grow. Peugeot is coming, and they're all good customers of us. And Kia Motors is coming, not too far from us at Anantapur, about 400 kilometers from here. So all of these are our customers, apart from the Ford, which has got approach 100,000. So that becomes we are really beautifully located within about 25 kilometers. We have nearly 1.5 million car sets. So therefore, this is dedicated for that. And also, as I said to you, that we export 90% of India's exports in glazing comes from us. And almost all of that comes from the facility in Sri Perumbudur, because this is where we make advanced glazing. We also started 20 years ago. I'm sure at some point in time in the future, our investments in Jagadia and Rajasthan will also begin to export as and when they grow up to that kind of a level. So we have invested over 3,000 crores in this site as of now. And just to give you an idea of the value addition, if you take the value of the sand as 1, and by the way, when you look at sand, we have this incredible source from Neyveli Lignite Corporation. We have not fully fructified it because it's a bit complicated dealing with state government, central government and other things, but I think we are on a good way, and the Tamil Nadu government is helping us and supporting us a lot. They have huge amount of mining that they do. Just above the layer of lignite, you have a fantastic layer of glass grade sand, but then they're mining lignite in millions of tons. When they mine few 100,000 tons, it gets contaminated and it has a lot of impurities. We have developed a unique multi-stage eco-friendly beneficiation process, and once we go through the agreements between Neyveli Lignite Corporation, Tamil Nadu and our own company, we will be able to use the sand from the whole state, and that will be just for those who must be having, the moment you say sand, it always starts to there's a lot of lighting up on your pupils of the press gets dilated. This is glass grade silica sand, which cannot be used in construction industry. It's pure sand which cannot be used in the construction industry. You need a bit of clay and other things for the construction industry. That's a poison for us. So when we start with 1, we have 25x, not 1 becomes 25x on clear float. When we make mirror, it becomes 40x, 40 times. 60 times when we make solar control glasses like the glazing that we have here. 100 times when we make lacquered glasses, which are really beautiful. And if we make an automotive windshield, it is 150 times. And when we make insulated glazing, it's 250 times. And when we make fire safety glasses, it's really 500 times. So we really take a very, very ordinary material like sand. A lot of that can be mined, converted from the waste that is mined out of Neyveli Lignite Corporation, and we can convert that. All that we add is technology, Saint-Gobain's 3+ half centuries of expertise and human ingenuity, and you make it all the way from 1 to 25 to 40 to 60 to 100, 150, 258 to 500 times. And that's really what is possible. So that's really what we are doing. So as I said that we believe that sustainability is at the core. Our chairman has written a book on sustainability, and he's also been one of those leading voices, Mr. Peran Rishalan, who is here, leading voices that we can do it. And it's not as if this is not feasible. So we look at sustainability. We look at, as I talked about, we make products that are sustainable. We manufacture them in a sustainable way. We've developed a sustainable ecosystem, which is really educating and knowledge and skills in the ecosystem. And we look at sustainability in terms of training our teams and other things. And also we've been investing consistently in the social communities in and around us. And so when we really look at when we really look at products that promote sustainability, we really work on see, hear, breathe, and feel and think. And increasingly, you know that there is a lot of science that is coming out of building physics, that people who work, nearly 70% of our living time is in buildings such as this. And people who work in green buildings, they're able to think better, whether in crisis conditions or in normal conditions. So there is enough evidence coming from cognitive sciences community that you think cognitively better. So we really contribute that. And I talked about energy efficiency. I've talked about water efficiency. I'd like to point out, when we came into this country, every 1 gram of glass had to be packaged. It has to meet our standards of truck, unloading, loading. If it has to go to Devraj Mazli Street, I mean, so you can imagine the tortuous turns that it will take. So what we've done is we've been investing in the community as well as in with our customers to really, can we eliminate the packaging? Because the packaging is just to reach it there. And this packaging is using precious wood, which is, sometimes it is a renewable resource, not always it's a renewable resource. So you'd be happy to know that 50% of what we do now, we have eliminated packaging. And we believe that in the next 4 or 5 years, we'd reach a level of 75%. So that's incredible. We are way ahead. We've invested in logistics machinery to make that happen. And that's really been helpful. I talked already about the carbon footprint, which will become much better once we switch from furnace oil to LNG. We've been working on the ecosystem because we need to invest on knowledge and skills. And we've been working extensively on this. We've been working closely with the Bureau of Energy Efficiency and others on driving regulations. We've been collaborating with the ecosystem to make sure that the green building, for many of you, you will probably know that India is the second largest green building community in the world. And we've been one of the founding members of both the Indian Green Building Movement, and we work with the US Green Building Council also. And I think this is something which you know. Over the years, we have been investing heavily on the communities around. A decade ago, we won the Corporate Social Responsibility when Corporate Social Responsibility was not mandated by the Companies Act. We won the Corporate Social Responsibility from the Tamil Nadu government for large companies. We are investing in knowledge, we are investing in skills. A lot of what we do works on women, children, elders, and others. So nearly 180,000 people are benefited by that. In the recently concluded GYM, we signed an MOU 5 in the presence of the Honorable CM, and we already invested 3,400 crores, and this is an additional 720 crores investment. This will take place in this site. We already have another site in the SEZ of Perundurai, where we have more than 90% of its products are exported, where we make advanced refractories for glass industry. And we have another site not too far from here, Thiruvallur. And then we also have the Saint-Gobain Research Center at the IIT Madras Research Park. So this investment will take place. We'll see when this gets completed. You'll be invited at this point in time. So our hope is to really become the clear choice for glass solutions. And thank you for being here. And look forward to the questions on Saint-Gobain globally. Mr. Per-Andre Schallender would talk about it. Mr. Anand Mahajan can talk about the Saint-Gobain in India, and I'll be able to add a few. Thank you.